Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now. Before we start today's news and rumor video on a Monday, let's jump into some shout-outs because people followed me on Twitter, as I said on my weekend mailbag video. First time to follow me, we'll get shout-outs. Let's jump right in. Alicia Bryant, Joel Clayton Truder, Skopatumana, Brandon Femi, I think is how you say his name. You got Joey Drata, Jay Maldondo 93, Chance Whitmore, Jamie Schoenfeld, and Michael Misgana. If I butchered your last name, I'm sorry, but there are your shoutouts there. So I appreciate you guys following me on Twitter. Keep following me on Twitter at RealThomasMott for all my latest on Eagles news and rumors. Let's jump into our first bit of news here on a Monday, and that is signing Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, I've gotten a lot of DM questions saying, Thomas, what about the Eagles signing Ryan Fitzpatrick, the former Dolphins, or I guess current Dolphins quarterback? And I'm always like, no, that's dumb, move on. However, the Philadelphia Inquirer has a new article out, which kind of not only ties Ryan Fitzpatrick to Philadelphia via their passing game coordinator, Kevin Patullo, who worked with Fitzpatrick with the Jets way back in 2015 and 2016, but also says that he could not only be a backup option, because Philadelphia has no other quarterback signed currently. He has, of course, right now it's just Jalen Hurts, and that's it. Nate Sudfeld is an unrestricted free agent. However, he also says that in the article that you would see Fitzpatrick compete for the starting job with Jalen Hurts, which is where I have some major issues on this, and does not sound like a good idea. But again, I'm not the one writing the Philadelphia Inquirer article. It is the Philadelphia Inquirer that puts out this idea, and I just give my thoughts on it. So first up, the quote from the Philadelphia Inquirer on Fitzpatrick. It's on your screen right now. Quote, that's Fitzpatrick, would push Hurts, maybe even beat him out, and his best overall season, 2015, when he threw 31 touchdowns, passes, and led the Jets to a 10-16 record, came with Patullo as his quarterback's coach. It would be worth the Eagles pursuing him or a player like him. Again, Patullo is currently the Eagles' passing game coordinator, the new passing game coordinator in the Nick Sirianni regime, and he, like we just said, worked with Ryan Fitzpatrick during his best season back, which is 6 years ago, but still back in 2015 when he threw 31 touchdowns. Now, in 9 games this past season, Ryan Fitzpatrick was, typical Ryan Fitzpatrick, good and bad. A lot of interceptions, but also some good touchdowns. He has the Ryan Fitzmagic name for a reason, and he seems to be one of the better journeyman/backup quarterbacks in the National Football League. I've actually seen him play Philadelphia versus his Texans way back when I was in college, and it was, I think Nick Foles was the starting quarterback. He got knocked out in that one, and then, of course, who was the back? No, it was, the Jets quarterback. I'm blanking on his name. Mark Sanchez came in. I was at that game. Fun fact. Anyway, listen, here's the deal. The Eagles will add another quarterback at some point this offseason, whether it's just re-signing Nate Sudfeld, drafting somebody, not in the first round. Okay, we say that, not in the first round. Maybe later on you get a backup quarterback behind Jalen Hurts. But adding a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick to me makes no sense because you don't want somebody to compete with Jalen Hurts. Now you say, Thomas, why wouldn't we want someone to go ahead and compete with Jalen Hurts? It's because you've got to make sure that Jalen Hurts is officially the starting quarterback and give him every opportunity to succeed in that offense. When you bring in a guy who can compete for the starting job, you don't only create controversy in training camp, you create controversy each and every week. The starting quarterback struggles. And again, you say, Thomas, isn't that what we want? We want the best quarterback out there. The answer is yes. But right now, Jalen Hurts is the future in Philadelphia. And much like what they did with Carson Wentz, at least early on, they made him the starter and they put everything around him to be successful. We saw what happened in 2017. Having somebody behind you who pushes to start only makes things more difficult, and especially in a media fan base like Philadelphia, it would be very dramatic to sign a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick. I like the idea of bringing in a veteran quarterback. I'm not wholly against it. I honestly think Fitzpatrick is too good to be the backup quarterback because, again, he could compete for a starting job. You saw what happened in Miami this past season. Tua was supposed to be the starter. Tua struggles just a little bit, and you can make the case he was not too bad, but some people think he was pretty bad. Fitzpatrick then comes in and they bench Tua, and now there's questions on if Tua is even going to be the quarterback of the future there. So I'm out on Ryan Fitzpatrick, although I understand the idea of needing a backup quarterback. Get one that's just not going to be as, I guess, dramatic as Fitzpatrick would be as the backup in Philadelphia. What do you guys think? Pin comment down below. Should the Eagles sign Ryan Fitzpatrick? Type Y down below for yes, type N down below for no. All right, let's move on here. So CBS Sports put out a crazy mock draft, a bizarre mock draft. And normally, again, as I say, I touch on some mock drafts, the Mel Kiper mock draft last week, but some other mock drafts, because there's a billion of them, aren't worth my time. This one, however, by CBS Sports' Ryan Wilson, is so bizarre in what he has Philadelphia doing at number 6 that I had to at least show you guys and show that, hey, this is a scenario that will never happen, and you guys can be as angry as I was. You saw my Twitter account, @RealThomasMott, just how, ridiculous and insane this draft is. So before I show you the mock, though, make sure you guys subscribe because I have a lot better mock drafts, right? So if you like mock drafts, which I do, but you don't want to read these bizarre ones that don't seem to have Philadelphia's best interest in mind, then subscribe here to Philadelphia Eagles Now, because I always do mock drafts. I did one a couple of weeks ago. We're going to do one here in the coming days. And whenever I do the mock drafts, they are more focused on Philadelphia's actual needs because I actually cover the team, unlike some random writer from CBS Sports. So let's go ahead and give it to the CBS Sports Ryan Wilson mock top 10. First off, let me just say this. His top 5 picks, you see those on the screen right now? I think this is pretty good, right? Trevor Lawrence to the Jags, Zach Wilson to the Jets, Jamar Chase to the Dolphins, Justin Fields to the Falcons, Penei Sewell to the Bengals. That could be a very real possible top 5. The problem is when you get to picks 6 through 10. Mac Jones to Philadelphia. There it is. Right? What do you think of that? It's unbelievable. Mac Jones to Philadelphia. Just wait. Jalen Waddle to the Lions, so no Devontae Smith. And he has Trey Lance to the Panthers, Caleb Farley to Denver, and Rashawn Slater to the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, do you see what's wrong with this? Especially number 6 with Philadelphia and Mac Jones. Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable. Okay, listen, like I said, if you want to see what Philadelphia should actually do at number 6, subscribe and check out my latest mock draft from a couple of weeks ago. You see the thumbnail on your screen right now. Just go back to a couple of days ago and you'll see my actual mock draft. That's Philadelphia, in my opinion, doing exactly what they need to do in terms of number 6 and the rest of the draft picks. So I have a better mock draft. I'll do more mock drafts in the future, but the latest one was just a couple of weeks ago. Okay, just quickly on this whole mock thing, the Eagles are not taking Mac Jones. They will not take Mac Jones. First off, they're not going to take a quarterback at number 6. I don't care who reports it, what they say. There is a 0% chance Philadelphia takes a quarterback at 6. I've said this. Even if they did take a quarterback at 6, they are not taking Mac Jones. I like Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is going to be a top 15 overall pick. I think there's a lot of cases where Carolina at 8 could go ahead and take Mac Jones. I talked about that last week whenever we looked at the Mel Kiper mock draft, and I thought Mac Jones to the Panthers because the Senior Bowl connection made a lot of sense. But Philadelphia cannot take Mac Jones. They will not take Mac Jones, and the fact that this can even be mocked here is just absolutely unbelievable. Like that would mean that they would have to pass on Jalen Waddle. Look at this. Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Patrick Surtain, and Caleb Farley, and Micah Parsons. All those guys are on the board, which are all needs for Philadelphia. You see wide receiver, corner, and then, of course, linebacker. And yet they would take Mac Jones in this latest mock draft. So it's dumb, it's ridiculous, but I just have to share this with you guys that there are mock drafts out there that are purely meant to cause drama, which is what this one does for Philadelphia Eagle fans, and maybe that was his goal because now we're talking about it. But when you look at this stuff, just know, for as much as Mac Jones and how crazy he was last year, he's not going to be a Philadelphia Eagle at number 6 overall. Just, oh my gosh, unbelievable. Okay, I don't know why I even have to ask this question because I know the answer, but would you draft Mac Jones at number 6? Type D down below for draft, type P down below for pass. You better be typing P down below. If you want a quarterback and you think the Eagles need a quarterback, it's not Mac Jones. Just don't. Just trust me. Just don't. Okay, let's move on. So the Philadelphia Eagle young wide receivers seem not concerned about the current state of the offense based on some tweets that we saw just as early as last week. And of course, as all these young wide receivers, Fulgham, Reagor, Ward, are all scheduled to work out with Jalen Hurts in Texas this month, you start to kind of wonder, are they correct in saying that Philadelphia is in a good spot at the offense position and the wide receiver position, or should they be a little less confident in the current state of the Eagles offense based on what we saw last season? So this all comes from 2 tweets. The first comes from TF13, which is Travis Fulgham's official Twitter account. He says, "I'm not worried about our offense at all." Then Reagor quote tweets and says, "At all." So both young wide receivers, presumably the 2 best young wide receivers on the Eagles offense, hopefully they add another one in the draft, but the 2 best right now are not concerned at all. Now, face value, you look at this and you go, okay, well, that's good. I like the confidence. I mean, I'm a little concerned, but if they're not concerned, then that gives me some good overall confidence going into the 2021 season. However, the current state of the Eagles offense does have some concerns, especially at wide receiver. We don't know if Jalen Reagor is going to be good or not or worth the 21st overall pick. We don't know if Travis Fulgham's 4-game stretch early on in 2020 is going to be able to be duplicated in a full 16-game season next year, or if the last couple of games where he did basically nothing is the future of Travis Fulgham. Like we don't know what the Eagles offense is fully going to look like from a wide receiver standpoint. Now, I really like the running game. I really like the offensive line, and I like Jalen Hurts as the quarterback. But to say that they are not concerned at all, to me, is a little bit concerning because last year, the Eagles' offensive rankings were horrible. I mean, look at this. 24th in yards per game, 28th in passing yards per game, 25th in points per game. It's going to take a big stretch and a lot of improvement to go ahead and get Philadelphia back on track in terms of being not concerned in the Eagles' offense. Again, I'm not saying I'm super concerned about the Eagles' offense, but they do have a lot of work cut out for them. You got to have the offensive line healthy. You got to draft a wide receiver and make sure your other wide receivers receivers improve, and you got to be able to work in Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders in a running game plus a passing game from Hurts' standpoint. There's a lot to do overall. And so I would say that even though I like the fact that they are confident, I would be, I don't know, not cocky about it. I would just be a little bit more focused on, hey, I know you're not concerned, but you guys got a lot of work to do, and so you better figure it out quickly because the offense was bad last year, and Eagle fans are not going to put up with another bad year of offense. What's your confidence level in the Eagles' offense in 2021? Like a scale 1 to 10. 1 being not confident at all, 10 being like Jalen Reagor and not concerned at all. I'm very, very confident. Let me know what you guys think right now down below in the comments section. Okay, before we keep going, St. Patrick's Day is just a couple of days away as we are officially in March. It's March 1st, which is crazy. Free agency is coming up. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. So get some official Eagles St. Patrick's Day merchandise, all 25% off right now at chatsports.com/Eagles Green. You'll see, not only is it the cool St. Patrick's Day colors, but they're all themed with Philadelphia Eagles styles in mind. Long sleeve, short sleeve, you got hoodies, socks, they're rotating around me right now. You see them all on your screen. The link is down below in the description box. chatsports.com/Eagles Green, the place to go, as most of the gear leading up to St. Patrick's Day is 25% off. Okay, final story here. We saw, or at least I saw a tweet from Forbes, which is interesting. You know, Forbes have sports, but Forbes is not really known for being a sports outlet. However, Forbes is saying the Eagles have already taken calls on Derek Barnett, and that it looks like Cleveland could be the leading option to go ahead and trade for the fifth year, let's call it, pass rusher in Philadelphia. So Barnett, of course, drafted in 2017 at the 12th overall draft pick. Is due $10 million here in 2021 because the Eagles exercised his fifth-year option on his rookie deal. That's a lot of money for a guy who's been a little bit up and down throughout his career and has never been the superstar pass rusher the Eagles drafted him to be. However, Chad Forbes has this tweet, it might have been Forbes.com, it's Chad Forbes from the NFL Draft Bites, excuse me. I read the last name and I thought Forbes, but Chad Forbes has this tweet right now saying, quote, Eagles not shopping Derek Barnett, but perspective around the league is they're certainly listening. Timing-wise, most teams will sort through free agent edge rushers prior to considering trades at position. One exception is the Browns. Told there's a dialogue there on the Browns. How about that? So maybe there'll be a Derek Barnett trade here, as of course Philadelphia needs to figure out their cap space, and not paying Derek Barnett $10 million could go a long way in getting underneath the salary cap in 2021. And honestly, listen, I think it's time for Josh Sweat. I've said this before for many, many weeks that Josh Sweat has earned the right to be the starting defensive end in Philadelphia. Has he had injury concerns in the past? Yes, but so has Derek Barnett, honestly, throughout the past two seasons. Both of them have rotated time on the defensive line. Even though I appreciate what Derek Barnett especially did his rookie year, I mean, he was really good in 2017 whenever they went to the Super Bowl. He has not progressed into an elite pass rusher. He's just been kind of a rotational pass rusher at best. I'd like to keep Derek Barnett, honestly, if you could restructure a deal and find a way to not pay him $10 million a year. But if he's going to cost that much, I'm all for trading him and inserting Josh Sweat and maybe another rookie drafted at some point in this year's NFL draft to hopefully compete for time and get the Eagle defensive line back to how it was so good a couple of years ago, and still is pretty good with Fletcher Cox and with Javon Hargrave, and then Brandon Graham going forward. So I like the idea of trading him if you cannot get him to play for cheaper, and honestly, I don't think he's going to play for cheaper. So get him out of there, put in Josh Sweat, and hopefully the Eagle defensive line can continue to flourish. We'll end on this. Who should start at defensive end for Philadelphia? Type S down below for Sweat, type B down below for Barnett. That's the map for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Getting you guys the latest Eagles news and rumors. Plenty more videos upcoming this week, so stay tuned for that. Also, quickly, shout out to the mustache. It's back just for a couple days. Don't freak out. Looks good. Come on, give me a little credit here. Again, ultimate map for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. I'm your host, Thomas Mott, signing off the rest of your day.